Yeah. No, a nigga don't really want to take his cool off.
Boy, throw it.
I just press his early in the morning. When she on the line, I'ma take my time. Yeah. Do it how we want. Just to set the mood. Gonna bust some out of
Hello, this is episode 14, I believe. I wasn't sure if 13 was right, but I'm assuming it is, so that means this would be 14. And it's Tuesday of week 4, and we moved on to color this week. When I tell you color is a lot of information, color is a lot of information, like tons. You wouldn't even believe it. So I'm going to talk to you guys about color. I'm going to read you some stuff out of the textbook. It might take a while, believe it or not. We have 13.1 and 13.2 to do because we were off on Monday, so we covered 2 in class. And then we have stuff in our workbook. Our hair cutting book also has color stuff in it, so I'll talk to you guys about that. And then I'll show you kind of briefly what we did today. I don't want to redo what we did today. You can see there's no color in her hair. They had us do everything with conditioner, just to practice going through the motions, so I can show you guys that. I'm not really going to show you guys with conditioner because I don't have time to wash her out before tomorrow. But maybe at another time I will. It depends on whether or not there's a great enough demand, I guess, or maybe when I actually do color. I don't know. We'll find out. Okay, so I'll start reading you guys some color theory stuff. This chapter covered, the value of the chapter is having the ability to change a client's existing hair color will allow you to enhance the hair cutter style you have selected for your client. This will help the client maintain the best possible personal image and will help you project the best possible professional image. In the chapter on professional development, you find information on value-added products and services, that little something extra like a prize in a cereal box. You can think of a salon color services that way as well. They are not a little, but a great value that you can add to your repertoire as a trusted and competent cosmetologist. So the main idea is understanding color, being able to identify the client's existing hair color, and knowing how to change the client's existing hair color translate into a financial and professional reward for you as a stylist. Hair color is the second leading service in the salon. To add the hair coloring skill to your resume, you need to focus on the main idea underlying color theory and its application to hair coloring, and then practice the procedures you will learn in this chapter. Okay, so 13.1 covers color theory as in what is color and the law of color, and 13.2 will do identifying existing hair color, which has to do with melanin, which we talked about in trichology, gray hair, identifying natural level and tone, identifying artificial level, tone, and intensity, and additional considerations. So here we go with 13.1. I really only want to read you guys like the bold stuff because it's a lot of information. So there are reasons for getting hair color. One's to create a fashion statement, to enhance existing or natural hair color, to cover or blend for a more gray for a more youthful appearance, or to mimic or correct the sun's lightning effect. So if the sun gave you all sorts of wacky highlights, you can correct that to be more regular types of hair highlights. So now, what is color? Color is a phenomenon of light. Those of you who took science in high school, which I'm pretty sure almost everybody had to, we talked about light, I'm sure, sometime there, and probably middle school, maybe even elementary school. In other words, without light there would be no color. Isaac Newton discovered this fact in 1676 when he passed white light through a prism and found that the light broke out into continuous bands of color ranging from red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Each of the colors is a group of electromagnetic waves, also called wavelengths, traveling through space. All that good stuff. That's what color is. It's not specifically hair color, it's just what color is. So now the law of color. The law of color, you'll remember this stuff from art class, I'm sure, if you've taken an art class, which I'm sure, I remember learning this way back when. So if you went to a public elementary school, probably, even if you're homeschooled, I imagine your parents would teach you this. So the law of color states that out of all the colors in the universe, only 3 are pure, and that would be yellow, red, and blue. They're primary colors, and they're the pure colors. When 2 out of the 3 primary colors are mixed in varying proportions, they produce the 3 secondary colors, which are orange, green, and violet. Orange contains varying amounts of red and yellow. Green contains varying proportions of blue and yellow, and violet contains varying proportions of red and blue. And then we have our tertiary colors, which comes after secondary. Tertiary colors are made by mixing primary colors with their neighboring secondary color in varying proportions. There are 6 tertiary colors: yellow-orange, yellow-green, blue-violet, red-violet, and red-orange. Colors such as browns and grays are made by mixing primary, secondary, and tertiary colors in equal or unequal proportions. So that's all the main colors that you find, and then you can mix them all together to figure out other colors. But that's where you start. Then we talk about the color wheel. This is our beautiful color wheel. And you have the warm colors, which are your yellows, orange, and reds. And then your cool colors, which are the green, blue, and violets. Okay, and then, yeah, we talk about the warm and cool colors, kind of like I just said, and it goes further into saying the warm tones are something you would see in, like, a sunset. I know sometimes there's, like, a purpley colors in sunsets, too, but I guess that would be more of, like, a red-violet than a straight-up violet. And then there's also cool colors, which is if you think of, like, a scene with a mountain stream. I'll show you the pictures we have in our book. Kind of tiny, but hopefully you can see them. Let's see. If someone is classified as warm, this means his or her color falls into the yellow and red-orange category. And if someone's cool, they would have cool undertones. Their hair colors would lack warm tones and would complement these skin tones. Let's see. Then we have complementary colors, which are colors that are found on opposite sides of the color wheel. They're referred to as complementary colors. In hair color, they neutralize or cancel out one another when they are mixed together. This is important because complementary colors are often used to neutralize unwanted tones. For instance, in hair coloring, an application of a blue-based color would eliminate unwanted brassiness or orange tones. That's the example I was going to use just because it makes the most sense, and it happened to be there. So if you have like a yellowy gold blonde color too, you can use ash tones, which are more like blue, to neutralize it, and then you won't have all the golden yellow tones in it if you don't want them. Level of hair color. Every color has a degree of lightness or darkness, which is often described as level. Of the 3 pure primary pigments, blue is the darkest, yellow is the lightest, and red is considered medium. Intensity of hair color. Intensity is another term used to describe and identify hair color. It refers to the brightness or vividness of a color or the strength of the tone. Okay, so that's it for 13.1. It's not it, because I didn't read you everything out of the book, but that's it. And this is only a little bit of what we covered today. So 13.2 is identifying existing hair color. And then we also have a formula, which is natural melanin plus artificial pigment equals the final color result. So then we're going to talk about melanin a little bit more. I know we covered in trichology, but it goes over it again here too. So there are 2 types of melanin for those of you who have watched these other videos and were paying attention, I guess. Found in the cortex of the hair. Eumelanin is black pigment, and pheomelanin is red pigment. The type, amount, and distribution of melanin that determines whether hair will be black, brown, red, or blonde. A dense concentration of eumelanin will produce very dark hair, like mine. A small population of eumelanin will produce light blonde hair. A predominant amount of pheomelanin will create red hair. And then in gray hair, it's when the melanocyte cells slow down in their production of melanin, and each hair strand gradually loses its color, and the result is white hair. So there's different patterns of graying too. Some people gray around the front hairline and sideburn area, while others may begin to go gray at the top or crown area first. In most cases, the back of the head or nape area is the last area to begin to go gray. The different percentages are 25% gray, 50% or 75% gray. So 25% gray hair, there's more pigmented hair and less non-pigmented hair. 50% is there's an even balance, and 75% is that there's a higher percentage of the non-pigmented hair and a lower percentage of the pigmented hair. If the client has approximately 25% to 30% gray hair, apply a color 1 level lighter than the desired shade. Gray hair. It's sometimes said that gray hair is more resistant to color applications than pigmented hair. It's not necessarily true. It might just be more visible when it does fade because you're seeing gray opposed to the color, where if I dyed her hair black and it faded, it wouldn't be able to see it as soon because her hair's a darker color. It's not white or gray. If you find that you are working with resistant hair, you may need to pre-soften or pre-lighten the hair first by mixing and applying a lighter shade to make it porous enough to receive the final color application. So that's interesting. Identifying natural level and tone. These levels, which are often identified by names such as lightest blonde, fall into one of the three major fields of color. The major categories or fields of hair color are light, medium, and dark, or blonde, brown, and black. The categories can be further subdivided into medium light and medium dark. Excuse me. Okay, and we have another lovely little picture, and it talks about the different colors, and 10 being lightest blonde, 1 being darkest black. Identifying artificial level, tone, and intensity. Let's see. I'm not sure of the best way to explain this, but let's see. The tone or base color of an artificial hair color is often abbreviated on hair color packages and swatch charts for easy identification. So if you're going shopping for hair dye, which they always tell us not to ever get anything out of the store, like boxed hair dye, you want to use professional dye. They put a lot of really bad ingredients into boxed dye. I'm not saying that the ingredients in professional dye are good for you, but apparently they're of better quality. And that's according to what I've been told. I don't know anything about it. But they've been in the industry for a while, so I think they know what they're talking about. So the different tones and base colors are yellow, red, blue, gold, violet, ash, neutral, green, red, orange, red, violet, blue, violet. And the abbreviation would be like yellow Y, red R, blue B, gold G, violet V, ash A, neutral N. Green is GR, red orange RO, red violet RV, and blue violet BV. And then there's also people who use words instead of the letters to abbreviate. So platinum would be a violet color. I know it's a weird thing to think because you think platinum is like a white blonde, but that's because it doesn't have the yellow tones in it. It's a violet color. The violet would neutralize the yellow tones in it, and that's why I believe platinum is violet. Golden blonde is yellow or gold. Ash blonde is a blue violet, so that's also got the bluer tones in it. It's taking out the golden and yellow tones. Golden brown is gold. Chestnut brown is green. Copper gold is orange. Auburn is red-orange. Burgundy is red-violet. Mahogany is red-violet. Plum brown is red-violet. Black velvet is violet, and blue-black is blue. I know, like, a lot of them, I just said auburn, burgundy, and mahogany are all, no, not auburn. Burgundy, mahogany, and plum brown are all red-violet. They're just different degrees of red-violet. But they're still made up of red and violet. The violet dyes. Yeah, violet dyes, sure. Intensity. When you refer, this is an example that they give, referring to red-orange hair color, you might describe it as mild red-orange compared to a strong red-orange. So, I guess a mild red-orange would be someone who is like a light red-orange color. It's not very intense, it's not very vibrant, but opposed to someone who's got really deep red-orange hair, very intense. When you look at it, it's like very bright. Let's see. We have additional considerations, which is texture. Goes into texture, the coarseness or fineness of the hair fiber. It may be resistant to lightening, or it may appear to process slightly lighter than the intended level. That's coarse hair. On the other hand, fine hair, which has pigment grouped more tightly together and is generally less resistant, may appear to process darker when color is deposited. That's if it's a darker color. If you're going darker and you have coarse hair, the results might come out lighter than you expected. If you're going darker and you have fine hair, it might come out darker than you expected. Porosity is the ability to absorb moisture in liquid. You guys should remember this if you watch the other videos. But Porosity is a main factor when selecting products, formulating hair colors, and determining the appropriate application techniques and amount of processing time. Some common factors that affect the porosity of hair include sun exposure, alkaline shampoos, chemical products such as hair colors, lighteners, perms, and relaxers, heat from hair dryers, curling irons. The more the hair is exposed to these factors, the greater the porosity. With resistant porosity in regards to coloring, the cuticle layers are smooth, tightly packed, and compact. Color absorption in the case may take longer, or you may have to apply additional pigment to ensure color absorption. With average or normal porosity, the cuticle is slightly raised, thereby accepting color products easily. And in the condition where it has extreme porosity, the hair might accept the color intensely, or it may fade quickly. So let's see. Often clients with long hair may exhibit uneven or variations in porosity because the hair on the ends has been more exposed to environmental elements. So, like my hair down here is lighter. I don't know if you can tell because of this. You might be able to tell there. But that's because I bleached the underneath of my hair and it's showing back through. But sometimes if you take someone's ends of their hair and you compare it to their roots, it's a lot lighter than the rest of your hair. It's just because of the exposure to the sun and other elements. In cases of uneven or extreme porosity, a filler may be required to even out the porosity prior to the color service to ensure even color absorption. So that's good to know. Now you can test for porosity. You select a small section of hair, hold at the ends, and slide your thumb and forefinger along the hair strand towards the scalp. The more rough the hair feels, the easier the hair back combs, the greater the porosity. So I have a lot of porosity because my hair is really coarse and dry and stuff like that. But my hair's always been like that. And that's it for 13.2.